All right, and we are live. All right, my friends, I am going live. We're going to get some writing sprints in today. We're going to be doing not one, not two, but three writing sprints. No, I lied. We're going to be doing one writing sprint. I'm like assuming that I have all this extra time to be able to do writing sprints, but we're going to be doing one longer one. I'm going to be getting in a bunch of writing myself, and hopefully, we'll see what writing we can get into. We are going to be getting into. Hey, sorry guys, hold on just a second. Hold on. All right. Sorry about that. Looks like we got a bunch of the dogs barking. Welcome back to the home. So it's been an interesting, fun weekend as we have been traveling and getting into the all the adventure and craziness. So we're gonna get some writing in today. It's gonna be super casual. I'm not planning anything crazy for today's stream, as I am a little distracted. Let's go. Let me throw this up as an announcement. Perfect. So what we're gonna do? I'm gonna throw this up an announcement for anyone who wants to come right. All right. So I think that was just very bad timing. Okay. So awesome. So I have this all set up. I threw up the announcement in the Discord for anybody who wants to come write with us. Awesome. All right. And perfect. Let's get into it. So, like I said, today's going to be super casual. I'm not going to be streaming for super long. We're going to get in a little bit of writing. I actually got a decent amount of writing done on my own end while I was traveling. And I was like, okay, well, today's going to be kind of a shorter stream, but I was still wanting to get in a little bit, still getting my daily rep. So, we're saying we're doing it. We're seeing what we can actually get accomplished for the day. So let me pull up my writing software, which I still have Scarecrow pulled up, which I am very excited, very, very happy about to have my stuff back up online. Hey, what's up, Bethany? Welcome, my friend. Welcome back to the stream. This is going to be a super casual, just getting in some writing done. All right, let's see. Free write. All right, we're just doing a free write for a bit. So free write and writer's chat. That is what we're going to do. We're gonna get in some free writing today. All right, my friends, you guys can see I already almost have my screen share. We're like, see if I can get there eventually. Let's see. All right, I was like, I gotta adjust for the new screen layout. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. There we go. So as you guys can see, I'm just going to get in some writing. Feel free to join. Bethany, it's good to see you back. I've been at my lately had a craft market. Totally understandable, my friend. It's always good to have you back in the community. Welcome back. Hopefully you're going to be able to get back into the writing vibe. I know it's Sunday, so Sunday is kind of like that time to like end of the week. Maybe you've been able to get in some writing. Maybe not. Dawn's been active in my mind over the weekend. Ooh, sounds like you got a good character in mind. That's actually really, really cool, Bethany. Soul and Mary, always good to see both of you. Soul, I saw your pictures for your convention that you did over the weekend. So cool, my friend. I'm so happy for you. I know Chat Soul did a live book. It was like a live book thing that I know you had mentioned in the Discord and threw up some pictures. So very cool. It sounds like you had some fun and were able to spread the word for your book and your series. So very exciting. I'm so jealous. I want to be doing more of those things. Mary, welcome back. So let's get into it. As you guys can see, I'm just going to throw up the music. I'll come join you guys in the chat. And like I said, today's super casual, so I'm just going to try to see if I can get in a little bit of writing. We won't be going for too long because I'm a little short on time since I'm playing a lot of catch up this evening. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Okay, music up, and I will come join you guys. Hey guys, let me just touch on this real fast because Bethany, I saw your comment about about feeling. What was that? Let me pull up the exact comment because there's something good. I know I've talked about this before. You're like, I feel like sore. Like it's been so long since I first started, had to restart, and after all the mom life and all, I feel like I'm falling short of where I'm supposed to be. And right, especially thinking of the greats like Tolkien, Lewis, Rowling, obviously they can be inspirations at times, but then also feel like then we're not accomplishing stuff. And then Soul, you also mentioned the guy next to me had 6 books done in the last 7 years. It was kind of depressing at first when he told me. I just remind myself that I never stop with mine. So the thing that we always have to keep in mind, and dragons, you absolutely said it. So I find that have something to show for it, which is awesome. Dragons, you also mentioned the same exact thing. Never compare yourself to famous authors. Don't let the heart be eclipsed by these big authors and just write what you desire. So one of the things that always comes to mind with compare contrast is that we what happens is we see other authors, we see other individuals or artists at a certain stage of their journey. And what we do is we compare ourselves to them because of different level of success. The problem is we're comparing our entire journey to a single snapshot of their life. How is that realistic, first off? How is it realistic? And I'm not saying this to you, Bethany. I'm just saying people in general because I see writers do this a lot. But how is it realistic if you take your entire journey of the entire, like, what, 5, 10, 15, 20 years as a writer, however long you've been writing, and then compare it to that single snapshot of where that writer is? It's unrealistic. Now, more realistically, it would probably be more consistent to be able to compare our entire journey to their entire journey. But that's not really the way that our brain works. We see their success and we compare ourselves against that success. So I always want you to keep in mind that when we're comparing ourselves to others, it's so difficult to accurately compare ourselves because we've gone through such different journeys. So I think taking that into mind, and even if like some of the similarities are like, oh, okay, well, this author was also a mom, or this author also had these obstacles. we have still dealt with finite and different variety of obstacles, even despite similarities. So recognizing that, yes, it's writing can be a process, and we might not be where we want to be at, especially when we see like some authors can like put out one book a month, right, and go much faster paces. They can write them. Maybe their network with somebody who's like in the industry, and they can just get stuff out faster. But the challenge is when we compare ourselves to somebody like that, it's then we're just setting ourselves up for failure instead of just figuring out what is the problem. The problem is we just need to write. Now, you don't need to be like me and write every day. Don't be you don't need to go hard like I do. I have a lifestyle where I'm able to have a daily consistent writing routine. When I was working 40 hours a week at a customer service job, I wasn't able to do that. So you have to have a writing consistency, a writing practice that works for your lifestyle, whether that's 2 times a week, but maybe those are like longer sprint sessions. Or maybe if you struggle with motivation, you're like, hey, I'll always come and hang out with us here on the Right Now channel a couple times a week. I'll always come and hang out on Wednesdays and Saturdays because those are the days. Now, granted, remember, we don't always get writing sprints on the weekend since we have more specialty streams, but you get my point, right? So I think the key to long-term success is consistency, which you probably already know that, but it's like we know it, but then trying to practice it is the challenge. So that would be my recommendation, my friends, to think about when comparing ourselves to others. And then like you probably made so much progress on your stuff up until this point. So and I wanted to put that out there. Yeah, Dragons, that's so cool. You're like, I hope you'll take advantage and buy the ebook at least. You're like, since it's a 24-hour free book drop. So it sounds like you're doing a book drop for your book. I know you mentioned that earlier. Let's see, you're giving away ebook copies of your book all throughout April 14th as part of a celebration for another author's book launch. That is so cool. It's really, really awesome of you that you're giving out free copies of your book. I'm really wishing you the best of luck with your journey, my friend. I hope you're able to get like a lot of books out there and really grow your readership. Giving out free copies of the book is an awesome strategy, I believe, to be able to grow the readership itself. So I'm wishing you the best of luck. I'll be giving away. Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely. If I can take advantage of it, I will. I don't promise anybody that I will read their book though. My TBR is too long. I have a higher likelihood of reading someone's book if it's an audiobook. I tell everyone that. I'm just too busy. But that's one of the reasons also that I have the Read Now book club so that I can like get myself into like at least reading. Most of the books I've read over the past couple of years have all been nonfiction because I've been working on like habits and growing my income and building a business and spirituality and really improving my life. So that's really a lot of the type of reading I've done recently because I've been doing a lot of life growth, building stuff. So yeah, so that's a really good call out. Like it took me nearly 2 decades to get my first book done, but I kept working on it and finally get it done. Like we all go at our own paces and our own journeys, Bethany. So I hope the motivation helps you out a little bit, my friend. Hey, what's up, Nil? Susan, great to see you, my friends. Okay, back into writing for me. I don't have too long today, so we going back into the writing vibe. I just want to touch upon that, Bethany, because I think that's so important to think about when comparing ourselves to other writers. Yeah, come join us. Totally not totally casual today. All right, my friends, that is what we got today. So, like I said, today was going to be a little shorter. I didn't have too much time to be able to stream with y'all. But guys, everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I'm glad we were able to get in a little bit of writing. I'll be back tomorrow with what updates. Maybe. So, I mean, I might do an update stream, or we might just get some more writing in, and we'll probably just do writing sprints. I'll probably have our next major update stream on April 14th, the following Monday, when we'll probably be announcing officially of the Fated Fantasy logistics. So, make sure to stick around. Everyone, thank you all for joining today. I know it sounds like we got hopefully a little good motivation in, and hopefully a little bit of writing ending off this work week so we can get into the next week even stronger. If you want to keep up the writing vibe, go hang out in the Discord. Go start a writing stream chat over in the Discord. Yeah, if you guys want to keep on writing, I gotta go, but thank you all for joining me, and I'll catch all you tomorrow. Make sure you're signed up for the newsletter if you want to know what next week's Right Now schedule is. The Right Now schedule gets sent out at the end of the week. I'll be sending that out tonight. So hopefully we'll be able to see more tomorrow, and that is all that I got for you. All right, my friends, I'll catch you on the